Hello, good afternoon to you, and welcome to the business segment of the news here on Midday Live. My name is Alfred Okanse. Now, hundreds of traders at Bosokai here in Accra are on a sit-down strike over what they term is a rising cost of doing business in the country. Now, the spare parts dealers who double as members of the Ghana Union Trade Association GOTA say they will not back down on their strike stance until government intervenes to cushion them. Public Relations Officer of GOTA says they are worried about recent taxes imposed at the ports. Let's go on to get some details of exactly what is happening on the ground there. And the Parkwesi Asare has been there and been monitoring the impact of the strike so far. Parkwesi, it's good to have you. Now, tell me exactly what you observed, where you went.
Well, so the strike action started somewhere around 6 a.m. I got there together with the team very early, somewhere around 8 a.m. and you could realize that a lot of the shops have been closed down. Now, we're talking about 5,000 shops being closed down. Now, these people employ close to about 20,000 in all. I'm told each shop, for instance, has about 4 workers. You calculate that, you multiply that gives you about 20,000 workers. And these are members of GOTA. And they're on a sit-down strike. It starts today. It's going to end on Wednesday. And it's basically because of what they term as the rising cost of doing business. They speak specifically about the recent introduction of the ECOWAS Common External Tariffs, which is supposed to ensure uniformity in port charges across the ECOWAS sub-region. They talk also about the new excise tax stamps as contributing to the high cost of doing business. So these are their concerns. These are their worries. They say they've sent petitions to government over the period, and government has really not listened to them. So you know, along the line we had the police also come in to essentially supervise or to see what was going on. The police this morning had sent a circular around to media houses that they had information that the leadership of GOTA were going to forcefully or forcibly compel its members to comply with the directive. And what they're saying is that, listen, this should be done in the free will of the people. Nobody should be compelled to embark on a sit-down strike. So we're still monitoring the situation, and we'll bring viewers up to date.
Right on. But was there any force applied to any of the members to us to comply with this particular directive?
Not at all, Alfred. Most of them, you know, did it on their free volition. None of them was compelled to. We had just a few of them who had their shops opened, and nobody compelled them in any way at all. I spoke to the Public Relations Officer of GOTA, and he says they had achieved close to 90% compliance rate, and so they're excited about it, and they're waiting until Wednesday to see what government is going to do about it. Then they know their next line of action.
How about the other people who came there to buy and realized that these shops
Well, Alfred, it was a stressful moment for a lot of buyers who had come in, because you know Abosokai is like the hub of spare part, you know, dealership in the country. They sell spare parts. A lot of people go there to buy their goods from there. And so for a lot of people who didn't know about the strike action, they went there and they only realized that the shops had been closed, and they were quite frustrated as well.
Okay, so let's go on to find out exactly what happened then. Then hundreds of traders at Bosokai earlier on, as I stated, here in Accra, are on a sit-down strike, just as Parkwesi is beginning on some details of exactly how it looks like over what they term as the rising cost of doing business in the country. Now, the spare parts dealers who double as members of GOTA say they will not back down on their stance until government intervenes to cushion them. Public Relations Officer of GOTA says they are worried about the recent taxes imposed at the ports.
The reason for this closure of stores is as a result of the various taxes that government has increased with regards to the import duties. Now, GOTA held a press conference on the 2nd of February 2016, and on that press conference we enumerated a lot of taxes that government has imposed, which is very inimical to our business, and then we call on the government, you know, to respond to it within 2 weeks. Now the 2 weeks elapsed on the 16th of February. By that time we still hadn't heard anything from the government.
All right, so that's the public relations officer of GOTA right there. Now, clearly, you say that there's going to be a 3-day strike action. So what are they anticipating of government in terms of the response?
Well, they're hoping that government will respond favorably to them to help cushion them, because they go to the ports, they bring in the goods that perhaps were going for, let's say, 200,000 or 20 cedis today is going for about 50 cedis, and when they sell to their people, they're also complaining about the high rates of goods and services in the country. So they're hoping that government will intervene to help cushion them, essentially.
Well, Kwesi, thank you very much. Kwesi, sorry, it's my colleague, and he was at the various places, Aboso Kai, and then also the Accra Central, trying to get details of exactly what the situation looked like with respect to the GOTA and other bodies, talking about the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana as well, declaring that strike action. You're still watching the Midday Live.